We're back with the bad vibe with Dwight and Jeremy.
Episode 142. Pick up Jews?
Yeah.
We're not picking up any fucking Jews.
No, we're not picking up anybody. We're not in a train.
They're like, and you couldn't. I don't know how they talk. I mean, I've never talked to one that's Orthodox or whatever.
Well, you meet a lot of people from all over because of your job, but you don't. It's not like there's a lot of Jew truck drivers.
Yeah.
They run Hollywood and the banks.
There was one that
they don't drive trucks.
There was one that came in with a little the little hat or whatever.
A yarmulke.
Yeah, and he's all sitting there and talking, and
he's like, "Oh, hey, these prices." Right.
But anyways, so the election's coming up soon.
Which one?
Really?
Vote for Donnelly. That's all I ever think.
Vote for Donnelly.
There is an election coming. I guess people are voting already.
Yeah, there's some people that voted. I think the early is either done already, or it's fixing to be done. But people have their little, I voted stickers, Yeah,
you're really making a difference.
They're yeah.
The old guy that sniffs kids or the old guy that can't stay off Twitter. You picked your favorite. There's a famous quote that if I could remember who said it, I'd be smart.
They're hold on, I gotta pause you for a minute. Okay. They're these candies aren't gonna crush themselves, and Trump's not gonna get reelected unless I vote.
That's a very specific person you're making fun of. But the famous quote that I don't remember who said, he said, when you choose the lesser of two evils, remember you're still choosing evil. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a great quote because they're well, I mean, he's not as bad as the other guy. It's so you're admittedly picking a bad guy. Mm-hmm. You could write in a nice guy, right? Can you write in? Could I go vote and write into Dwight Smith?
No, I think it has to be someone on the list, right?
Oh,
I mean, and I'm not of age.
Who cares?
No, I could write you on there, I guess. Oh, they're no, you can't. You're not registered anymore.
Yeah.
They're you didn't.
Our whole thing is just wouldn't work.
The guy, he crumbles it up and tells me to wipe it with my ass. Wipe my ass with it. Whatever.
Well, so how much, do you see commercials a lot still?
No, I have no commercials.
Okay, so we have the Hulu
Life's
thing.
Been great.
Well, we have the Hulu thing where we have...
where you have some commercials, yeah.
So we see...
Is it bad?
No, I mean, it's nice because it shows a little counter on there. It's a minute 30. It's I can take that.
Oh, I thought you meant who's winning.
No.
You know what I mean? You're just watching a commercial about insurance because they all are.
Yeah,
right?
They are.
Yeah, they really are all about car insurance.
I don't know, health.
And it's Biden's down.
No, it's anyway. So I saw this. I don't know what my wife was watching because we don't have cable or anything, but it was local, the Weather Channel or something maybe. Mm-hmm. And the commercial was for some Senate seat. Some guy's running for Senate or something. And the guy that he's against is something Siegel. Mm-hmm. A Jew. But anyway, the ad goes talking about how bad this Siegel guy is. And they he wants, and it's things nobody wants. It's he wants rapists to just roam the streets. And it's does he?
They're pushing and then big time, yeah.
It gets the best was at the very end. It's here, I have the actual quote in my notes because I thought it was so funny. He said, it said, if you vote for Siegel, your family will not be safe. I was
God. That. They're he is a horrible man.
If I'm to believe that commercial, we need to kill Siegel.
Yeah.
This is a terrible man. It's he wants gang members to break into your house. And it's what does he have against me?
It's if you voted for Siegel, your kids might already be dead.
Exactly. Right? It may as well say, if you vote for Siegel, go fuck yourself. They pause it.
And they run into their kids' room. Right?
I got it just in time.
Yeah.
But those, I get it. So here's the thing. There's people who are always going to vote for whatever, Democrat or Republican or something, and then opposite. And so those ads are triggered towards people who aren't hardcore for either one. So they just try to scare you because fear is the best motivator there is. Mm-hmm. If I put a gun to your head and said, give me all your money, you probably would. If I was tried to tell you a joke and make you laugh so much that you give me money, it's not going to work. First of all, I'm not very funny.
Mm-hmm. And I don't have any money.
Yeah. But fear is the best motivator. So when they say...
I slide a quarter over it, right?
I release the handle of the gun. But when they say that your family won't... Because, your family, if you're a parent, thinking about your kids getting hurt, that's all you think about.
Yeah, so they pick things they know that will get stupid people.
Somebody went to vote, and they're I want my family to be safe, so I'm not voting for Siegel.
They're shaking right? While they're bubbling it in. Right?
And I guess that's why People get
it's a touchscreen now, so they're like their hands are sweating, and it's not touching.
It won't work.
You know, it doesn't. It's not getting.
Sometimes
like,
when your hand's sweaty, you know how it touches below what you touch.
He's like, no,
Not single. He just kills himself.
He's like, he's all like, Carter, are you okay?
The guy accidentally pushes Siegel, so he just puts the fucking samurai sword through his stomach. He doesn't want to live in a world where Siegel is like harming his family. But should that? Okay, I get it. I'm pretty much anti most laws, right?
God damn.
But you know what I mean. I don't think you should put people in prison for weed and stuff like that. I think
you should get a ticket for me not wearing a seatbelt.
Exactly. If you murder or rape or steal a bunch of shit from somebody, I get it.
I was like,
you should be set free.
I was waiting for like the
plot twist is I'm Siegel. Your family's not safe. But if you do those things, if you harm other people, you should go to jail. But I don't think they should have laws about everything. But it's crazy to me that it's just cool to just make an ad that says this guy will make your family unsafe if he's in charge.
It usually starts out with things they've done, like minor or whatever.
It does that black and white.
Yeah.
And it shows like a newspaper clipping taken out of context.
And then it says at the very end, it has the voice of the other person that says, I approve this message.
Exactly.
I think that's the best part of it, is that it's like, that person, they're probably like, oh, yeah, definitely put my name on that one.
Yeah.
And they do like the little stamp at the end of it,
I think there's I want to believe.
There's someone out there that's all like, they're trying to make those things good, and they get like raises and like bonuses.
Somebody get a raise for saying Siegel's going to murder your kids or whatever.
That's crazy.
I don't even know what the motherfucker's running for, but I mean, it seems important that he doesn't win, But it's like a black and white picture, and it shows the guy.
It's like district janitor or something.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with like
school board.
It's a guy that cleans toilets, at like Office Depot or something.
He's getting elected dog catcher. It's like, but it really, like, the whole premise of
you're gonna have a rough time if he does cheap ad.
It's the whole premise of the commercial is that you are in immediate danger when that guy takes office.
Yeah.
And it's like, that isn't true. I don't believe that. Because you hear, I got into a big argument with one of my brothers-in-law. It's always weird to say that. But I got into it. We were at a little...
It's not brother-in-laws.
I know, but brothers-in-law's gay.
It's just one law.
Yeah, one law.
Is it what combined y'all, right?
Yeah. So I got in a big argument. We were sitting at like a little kid's...
Like a mini laws binded him.
Anyway.
It's a different brother-in-law.
Yeah. We were at a Pee Wee football game. We're sitting there just kind of whatever. And he was like, hey, did y'all vote yet? And I was like, no, I don't vote. Because, I don't vote, know? And he's like, he's how do I put this nicely? You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He's like somewhat autistic. He doesn't draw good, if you misunderstood me. He's retarded. But, no,
like,
so...
He doesn't draw good, and he's retarded.
So, he's real good at like counting matchsticks or whatever.
Yeah.
So he was like, well, you have to vote. And I was like, as it turns out, I do not. You do not have to vote.
Yeah.
I don't want to live in a world where you would be forced to vote.
You're like jumping fences. The red and blue lights are coming after you.
There's a helicopter trying to spot
You're
me.
the guy.
They got a little pencil and a paper.
They're like, we found the one guy in this county that has not voted.
Yeah.
You're like in a canoe crossing the lake. Like.
Me and Kyle Reese are hiding in an underpass.
There's cops, swimming out to get you. Anyway.
Yeah, so he's like, you gotta vote. And I was like, I just don't vote. He's like, but do you understand how important this election is? I was like, well, I remember when they said that last time. And he's like, no, you don't understand. He's a socialist, and if Biden wins, then he's gonna do away with this, and he's gonna kill this, and I was like, chill out. I was like, remember when if Obama wins, we're all gonna be Muslim? I was like, we're not Muslim. I was like, it's just scare tactics you're buying into because you're not smart.
He's sitting there on his little carpet on his knees, and he's like praying to Allah. He just did, right? They said he would, and he's like, damn it, I guess I got to.
I guess I gotta.
Right?
But I was like, that's just scare tactics that people buy into because they're not smart. And he's like, but because, most people can't they can't like form it in their brain that they aren't smart. This guy, he's a nice guy, he's a great guy, but he's not smart.
He's like, if Trump doesn't win, Texas is gonna centipede from the union.
He's like, I only got 4 legs. We're gonna have to have thousands to do that. He's like, we're gonna succeed. But he started like yelling, not because he was so much mad. He was flabbergasted because here's what he wanted. Everybody he talks to is like, hell yeah, I voted for Trump, right? So he wanted to hear me say that. And when I didn't, it was like he couldn't believe I didn't. And he was like, well, you have to vote. And I was like, I do not have to vote. I don't vote. I was like, I didn't vote for prom queen. I don't vote for school board.
Everybody's like,
for this shit.
Ah. You hear that like in the crowd, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, we had an audience.
On movies, though, when you hear that, when like someone passes out.
Yeah. Yeah, if it was a sitcom, it would have been like, ooh.
Someone was holding like a glass and it smashed in their hand. Right?
The birds in Africa fly away. But I was, I'm loud, and he's loud, of course, because he's autistic. But yeah, there were people around, and of course, all the people around us are like super.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to listen to someone that's drooling while they're talking to you about this. Someone keeps coming and fluffing his pillow behind him.
So he was like, but he went on and on. I was like, I don't have to vote. I was like, I have a family, like I have a son, and my job is to keep him safe. And I just don't get all worried about political shit. I was like, first of all, how come you didn't come tell me to vote at the last congressional seat that came up? And he's like, well, I was like, oh, you just like the flashy one, huh? The president, the flashy one?
Yeah.
You don't care about the people who actually make the laws. And he's like, well, but you have to. And I was like, okay, you already lost. Stop. I've known this dude for a fucking decade. He's never told me to vote before. How come all of a sudden it does? Because it's all over the news and it's, he's being told, Joe Biden is an old man who'll be dead soon. Worry about the black chick. And she seems fine, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. If you didn't tell me any better, I would assume she's a Republican. But it was fun having the argument because normally I just let him go with whatever.
She's just a politician.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what they all are. Even Donald Trump, he's not a typical politician, but he's been the president for 4 years, so he's that now. It's what he is. But
that's the whole green jacket, gold jacket.
Yeah,
I mean that whole thing.
The people who and I also told him, I was like, look, it's the president. Your vote doesn't count. He's like, every vote counts, and I was like, no. If every vote counted, he wouldn't be our president because the person who ran against him got more votes last time.
You're like electoral college.
Yeah, that's what I said. Right? I said he's gonna win Texas, so you're fine. You'll do fine.
Yeah.
I said, but
he's like, I got my GED.
He's like, I took a lot of electorals in college. Weaving, gymnastics.
Shit.
But
he's like special physical ed.
The funny thing is, he really did get some kind of degree recently.
Oh wow!
So that shows you the state of our colleges.
Those like honoree ones, when it's like been long enough after they graduated.
Yeah, like Dr. Dre probably has one from somewhere.
Yeah.
He's like, he's a real doctor now. He has a doctorate from, whatever. Yeah. Calvin Coolidge College or something. It's one of those colleges nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
How's their football team, Yeah. It's Madden. They play Madden, But, no, but I've had that a few times now. I can't remember. Oh, the other one was at work. I had the same argument. Somebody's like, you got to vote. And I was like, but you're just telling me that because you assume that I'll vote for who you want to win. He's like, no, everybody has to vote. And I was like, but wouldn't it be in your best interest if I didn't vote? Let's say that I want Biden to win. Wouldn't it be in your best interest if I didn't vote? Why would you tell me you want me to vote? What you're saying is you want me to vote for Donald Trump. And I got a thing it's going to work. It was like Yeah,
I've got into some things, but some people at my job, though, are on the same side with that. They agree that it's like a...
Yeah, I mean, if you care about who the president is, then go and vote. It's an awesome privilege you have. I don't.
I haven't met anyone yet that is like hardcore Biden like people are with Trump.
I think it's like gay people back when I was in high school. They're out there, but they're not letting it be known.
No.
And
not in this state. I'm sure there are other states. I mean, just the other day here, I think yesterday actually, there was a 200 and something car like Trump parade going through our town. And we heard horns and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's cool. We should go see it. I'm so glad I didn't.
They're throwing candy.
That'd been like a waste of time,
They're throwing candy for little girls. I guess that would be the Biden parade.
Yeah, girls are standing out, and there's like a guy that dressed up like Trump grabbing the pussy.
Yeah.
Right? You know
those costumes where, like, my wife has one where it's a dude sitting on a toilet, and her upper body is his upper body, and the legs are fake? They have those of just a pussy on somebody's hands, You're walking, and it's a Donald Trump hand on your crotch.
That's ridiculous.
But... I mean,
is it, right?
I mean, that exists. I guarantee.
Trump's the president. That is ridiculous.
Nothing else. It's like it's broken now. Anything is possible. The dude from The Apprentice is our president.
On Back to the Future, when he said, "Who's the president in 1985?" and then he ends up saying like, "Who?" He's like, "Ronald Reagan, the actor."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it actually kind of sounded like that. But anyways, now look at that.
Yeah.
It's like go to 2016 to 20, and you're like, Donald Trump.
It's crazy because
You're like, what?
not even is it like that guy won. It's that he was still that guy while he was president.
Yeah.
He's like feuding with Rosie O'Donnell for some reason. Like
him and Arnold Schwarzenegger getting in trouble getting in an argument because of his ratings.
over who has better ratings.
It's like, what?
The president did that. George Washington is like, what the fuck is going on down there, guys?
Yeah.
Like,
I remember when he wanted to like go and stay at like his house or whatever, but then like couldn't. They wanted him like to stay at the White House.
I think he did. I think he mostly lives like on his own property, though, right?
That's crazy.
The White House is like not his style. It's kind of like understated.
Yeah.
His house is all like gold plates and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like the White House is like white trashy to him.
There's like mice and stuff walking around.
Yeah, for sure. A mice with a powdered wig. Like a mouse. Imagine though, like if ghosts are real, there's got to be some in there.
Yeah.
If ghosts were real, you know what I mean? Like, like obviously they're not, but a lot of people do believe in them. So if you're like get elected, you're like, I ain't standing there.
We have an episode called Ghosts or Conjoined Dimensions or something like that.
Old one. Yeah, we tell some ghost stories from our childhood. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good one if you want to listen. Like since Halloween's coming up, go back and listen to it. Ghosts or Conjoined. I don't know which number it is. Like 30
Dimensions.
something.
I don't remember.
Episode 30 or 31, but yeah, if you think about living in that house, and one of the rooms is called the Lincoln bedroom. It's named after a dude who was shot in the head. If ghosts are real, there's one in that room. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Big,
tall, creepy one that might be gay.
There's like a top hat that just floats around.
It's just a top hat and a beard is all you see floating.
It's like for school. Oh shit.
Oh shit. Anyway,
how many different like bedrooms are in there though? Like
I don't know. It's a pretty good sized house. It looks
like,
a lot like.
Stays there. It's mostly office building stuff too, though.
Yeah, it's like an office.
It's not like he's got like the TV. There's like a little magazine stand. Like the kids are in there playing like
his
Legos
socks are always on the floor.
You know what I mean? Like as soon as he walks in, he throws his keys and his change on the right.
It's just his house.
He's like Secret Service. I'm home. But no. Anyways, it's not like that.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of office stuff.
His weird fucking nasty looking wife or whatever is like baking.
I don't think she bakes. She bakes Jews, maybe. That weird, like, Eastern Bloc chick.
Yeah.
She gives me the heebie-jeebies.
What the hell?
I think she has no soul, because she's from that, like, Eastern Europe, like, vampire land.
Yeah.
Those people, I don't trust them.
She looks creepy.
She's just like, yeah.
People are like, look at her. She looks hot. And
yeah, because they're comparing it to, like, all the old ladies that had her job before.
Yeah. Like Barbara,
Ugh, nobody would fuck her.
Pube Bush.
Yeah. She's Barbara Bush. The new one is Barbara Shaved. That's the difference. It's still a nasty pussy, but
it's Barbara Landing Strip or whatever.
But it isn't like I said. She's hot because she's not an old lady. A lot of people think this is crazy, but Obama's wife I thought was pretty hot. A lot of people are like, she looks like a man. There's like all these conspiracy theories that she just is a man, and I'm like, look, I love a conspiracy theory, but I just think that can't be. She's a man with daughters who look like her. What did she knock a chick up, and then he agreed to raise them? But I always thought she was kind of hot though, in like a way.
Which one?
The Obama's wife.
Oh yeah. I mean, at some point, yeah.
The thing is, people are like, how would you think she's hot? If you're into black chicks, she's hot.
The daughter that he likes, that he wants to fuck.
Yeah.
She used to be hot.
Ivanka or something?
Yeah, she used to be. Now she just looks like she's going to be a politician, annoying one. But
I think she's going to be like, because a lot of those like Republican types really like her for some reason. I think just because as much as we got away from having like a monarchy, people love a good monarchy. And they want like Trump, and then when he's out, his son can run it, and then when he's out, his youngest son, you know what I mean? It's like people want that for some reason. First of all, how do you know, like if you like him because of what he does politically, how do you know his kids will be that the way he is politically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I would assume that they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, while he's in office, they have to, like, you know, they can't come out against him. That'd be awful. He'd probably have him killed. But how do you know that his daughter, if she were to be president one day, she may be like way more like liberal leaning than he is? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But
she's more liberal.
Yeah. I never thought, I get that she was pretty for sure. Like, she was a pretty chick.
I think when she was like younger, like in her teenage years, like she was pretty fucking hot. All those pictures where she's like sitting on his lap, like in inappropriate ways.
It was weird.
Like, what the hell? I see like pictures every once in a while they'll come out and they're like, go for Biden. At least he's liking someone else's kids or something.
I mean, that's where we are as a country. That's where we are as a country. Go for Biden. The kids he fucks aren't related to him.
Yeah.
I mean, what have we become?
They're like, at least Trump likes older. He grabs older pussies.
I mean, realistically,
instead of nibbling on little necks and ears, right?
that weirds me out even more than Trump's Eastern Bloc.
There is a lot of those pictures.
Too many.
It's just, but I mean, like, think about. I mean, no matter what, you can't get out of this.
Here's what I'll say: how many pictures are there of you nibbling on a little girl's neck?
Yeah,
not any.
I'd say not enough.
In my phone, a lot. Yeah. Out in the world, none.
I'm like, none, right? Right?
Well, look at it this way. Anytime, like, every time I see your daughter, I give her a hug. The thought of, like, nuzzling my face in her neck is so fucking weird.
Yeah.
She'd be like, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, shit, like...
But he, like, puts his hands on the shoulders and then, like, rubs his hands, like, far down.
I've seen him on, like, where nipples would be.
That's insane. And it's like a little girl, like 8.
What are you getting out of that girl's nipples?
Yeah.
He's like, milk. You know, I was like, I don't think so, but gross.
Yeah.
I've never milked a little girl. I've never milked a grown woman.
Yeah.
I don't know. You ever fuck with a chick that's like really far along pregnant? Sometimes it's a little wet.
I've never milked one.
I know, but sometimes it's like wet and you're like, ugh. I might be a little gay because that weirds me out and I don't want nothing to do with it. That's what tits are, and you're supposed to love tits, and it makes me sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You go and look at the milk in there, and you like put another bottle in front of it.
Yeah,
you don't want
to.
You don't want to think of the milk anymore.
It is gross because what comes out of them isn't what you'd call milk.
No.
It's not even like skim milk. I'd rather drink skim milk than that. Have you ever tasted it?
Yeah.
It's
I
gross.
used to have to drink it. Yeah.
When you were a baby.
Skim milk?
No, breast milk.
I was like, oh, yeah?
I was like, if you're tasting, like, I used to have to drink it. Yeah. What, were you tortured? Who made you drink breast milk?
I was like, skim milk?
But have you ever tasted breast milk?
No.
It is disgusting. It's salty.
I would think it would be.
It's very healthy, which that's the first red flag. Nothing healthy tastes good. No, I was thinking, like, it's not going to taste like Reese's peanut butter cups.
You like put it into a little thing, you put a little bit of milk, chocolate into it, stir it up. Right?
It might be okay if you put enough chocolate.
Put some ice cubes or something in it, you know?
That might help.
I mean, just to make it cold. It seems like it's going to be hot.
Yeah, it's warm. It's it comes out 100 degrees.
Yeah.
100 degree milk is gross. I don't even care if it's actual, like, a whole milk Borden coming out of her. If it's 100 degrees, I don't want it.
Oh, shit.
I'll go so far as to say that I think it's gross to make hot chocolate with milk instead of water. I don't want to heat up milk.
Do that?
Yeah.
People heat up milk and put...
And the people that they say it's way better, but the idea of heating up milk, I can't do it. Because instead of just being chocolatey water, it's chocolatey milk, obviously. It's hot chocolate milk. I'll just drink cold chocolate milk.
Or will do that.
Like, I don't need a hot drink. There's no, like...
People are like, it's cold outside, let me drink something hot.
Yeah.
It's cold outside, let me turn on the heater and put a blanket on.
Yeah.
And she's like, ooh.
How about you just put a blanket on and drink chocolate milk?
They're like, ooh, it's hot outside, let me turn on the AC, the fan, whatever, let's drink something cold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I drink...
Leave the refrigerator open.
I drink cold drinks all times of year. Now, obviously, we're in South Texas, and it's never real cold. But if it's 30 degrees, I'm still drinking, like, a fresh, cold drink. I don't need hot. And
fresh.
I definitely... Yeah,
it's like fresh. Like you're squeezing lemons.
You know what?
You know what I mean? It's like ice on the windows.
That never happens.
Right?
Yeah.
There's Christmas music playing.
That does sound very wholesome, and it's not.
You're making you a lemonade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fresh squeezed
I got sun tea. I got to chip the ice off the outside of the container or whatever.
You're sitting outside with your sunglasses on, shorts, right, with an umbrella.
No, but I don't like hot chocolate that much.
Just snow.
Because it's just chocolate drink that's hot.
Yeah.
I'd just rather drink it cold. Anyway, there's something else I wanted to ask you about. Did you have sexual relations with that woman?
No.
Okay.
Which woman? I mean, that should be like the...
So,
Did
no.
he say that? Oh, they were talking about...
I don't know. That was... You talking about Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're interviewing him, like, in that congressional hearing, and
What if
he's
he's like,
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yeah.
And then they found out he, like, shot a load on her dress and stuffed a cigar up her pussy, which is pretty crazy. We were thinking, like, dude, the president's wild, and then
He's
now...
like, that's not sexual relations?
It's really not.
No.
I think he was trying to do that lie without lying. He's
Yeah.
like, I did not stick my penis in her and ejaculate.
Yeah.
I shot a load on a blue dress,
Yeah.
and I violated her with a lit cigar. I hope it was lit. I don't know that detail. I hope the lit end was out,
I don't think
obviously.
it was blue, though, was it?
The dress?
Yeah.
I mean, it was
purplish.
it looked like cereal milk got spilled on it.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that we've seen a president's load, and it wasn't Trump's? You know?
Yeah.
We've seen a presidential load.
Presidential.
Yeah. I felt like it'd be more
It's
dignified.
like
There's a little bow
whenever
tie
you're like,
on.
that's like dun 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 dun, or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Dun dun da da dun da 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 da. But
That's ridiculous.
yeah, that's the sound it makes as it splatters onto her fucking. There's no dignity in a load splattering on you. Women, you really got to give it to them, and they'll take it. But you got to give it to them. Like, every woman that you know that is, you know, like a grown woman, has taken a load, like a hot one in the cheek, or, you know, supposed to hit her in the tits, but got her in the shoulder, which is like embarrassing. On the thigh. Like, you just see women walking around, and look at her, she's such a good mom. She packs their lunches every morning. She's taking loads.
Yeah.
And they just hold their head
Like
up.
that morning, maybe.
If I'd ever taken one load in my life, I'd never be able to, like, hold my head up high again.
Yeah.
Those chicks, they really got more, like,
You're at the
gumption
bank
than me.
in line. You're like, they know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know how, like, it's like you could still feel a warm spot where it hits you. Even though
Girls,
it's been
I
years.
think it's just some girls go to, you know, being lesbian because they're like, I don't want anyone to ever think that happened to me.
Yeah.
Right?
They don't, because there's something. It's not that it's demeaning, even. It's just that I would think if it was me, I'm just like going to the store to get Lunchables for the kids and just knowing I had a fresh one right between the eyes this morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like there's something like women really do have like they hold their shit together better than we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I think of women, I'm thinking of like just that typical like mid-30s mother of three. She takes all the kids to soccer practice.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, she's just a good egg, and she just took one. I mean, she looked like the fucking. If you were to highlight all the areas, she looked like the Bonnie and Clyde car. Just fucking boom, 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 boom.
She
boom.
goes to a rave.
Yeah, the black lights come on. She looks like a fucking leopard.
All the chicks are just, you know.
But I've never. I can't say I've never taken a load from a stranger.
What were you going
It's
to
always
ask?
dudes I know.
I'm really wondering what you were going to ask. Then you...
I gotta look back at my notes.
Then
We
you
got
brought
into
up-
loads.
You brought up the... I was thinking that whole time when we were talking about it, I was like,
Oh yeah.
was this what he was going to ask?
No. Okay. So I had this theory, like you should be able to judge yourself based on what people think of you, based on what they ask you to help them with, right? So I know that I'm a lowlife because like a while back, when another brother-in-law of mine, not the
Yeah,
same.
you got
one.
like 50 of them.
There's quite a few. Anyway, he called me and he's like, "Hey, I needed some help with something." I was like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "Do you know how to like break into a Coke machine?"
Oh, shit.
And I was like, "Yeah, yeah. Wow, what's up?" And he's like, "Well, because he works for a school and they had a Coke machine there that they were no longer being serviced, so like
Yeah.
they kind of owned it, and he wanted to get into it and see what was in it, you know, or whatever." And then I started thinking, so now I know. I just had this clarity in that moment. When he thinks of me, what comes to mind is like hoodlum, or you know, like
Immediately, when they're like, we need to break into this, he's like, I know a guy.
exactly.
Not only do I know him, he's like, I'm semi-related to him.
Yeah.
He's
Don't
like,
let this out of the room.
yeah, they're like,
But
don't
we
tell
are
nobody.
related.
Yeah.
But I know it's because I have that like low life like stink on me.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it for you. I was like, the other day when I was looking through my notes, I was thinking about it for you. You know how many people have called me to ask you to make them a fake document?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's just say in this movie about this guy's life named Dwight, he might have made a social security card or two back in the old days.
I did do one to see if I could do it. It was destroyed
Yeah.
after we got out of the country.
Well, I mean, I remember there was let's just say, like in this movie that I'm explaining to you, there was a guy who wanted to get a job but didn't have one. And let's just say he is now employed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this movie that we're talking about.
His brown family of 5 now resides in the state of Texas. So,
but it's like, those are 2 low-life things. And on multiple occasions, people have come to me requesting my low-life skills. My stepdaughter a while back was like, hey, Jeremy, you know how you're like really good at getting into people's houses? And I was like, why would you start like that? There's people around.
and then like with you, you're like, hey, they said they were going to have our medicine and they didn't.
Yeah, you're known as like, you're like Red from Shawshank. You've been known to get people to bend from time to like, you're good at customer service.
I'm Karen.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But yeah, I guess that's what it is, because you're good at talking to the management.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten multiple free meals while with you.
Yeah. Well, I know how the system works.
You just bitch enough.
There's not any restaurant place, like, they just make money. I mean, hardly anything. I mean, the food and everything, cost is real low. You know, there's not a lot of overhead. So they would rather, instead of making a big scene or have a big complaint that's going to stir stuff up, then they're just going to give you your meal free.
Exactly.
Because it's not really a loss.
But
you know what I mean?
You have to be a low-life piece of shit to just exploit that time and time again. You're like, this perfectly cooked steak had a whatever.
Some would think so.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is, so everybody knows that about you.
I'll gladly pay for what I ordered and the right thing, and as long as it was done, yeah. But if something's not done right, it's that animal's fault.
But it is. But my point is that people know of you. Like I say, I still get requests for you to like make things that look legit, that type of a thing. And I get calls all the time about like, you know, how do you like break into this house or something like. And I'm like, it's low life shit. And it used to dawn on me like, oh look, they needed some help and I was able to help them. And I was like, I feel like I'm really like contributing to society. And then I just broke it down the other day when I got the Coke machine call that no, they have dirtbag shit they need done, and when they think dirtbag, my name comes up on their phone first.
They're like, damn, I just called him last week. You know what I mean? They're like,
I called him last week to ask him what the statute of limitations was on rape.
Yeah.
That I don't know.
They're like, he read it off to me like he had the book in his hand.
He read it off that tattoo on his forearm.
And then said he had to hurry up and get off the phone within a minute and a half.
But isn't it? Do you still get that? Because you are, you're what do you call it? Like a successful-ish business guy, pretty well respected, but mostly by people who don't know you well. If I'm being honest.
Thank you.
But do you? Yeah, exactly. But it really was. But do you still get those like scumbag requests?
No, not as much anymore. I think I've kind of just kept all that down.
Hold on, I just remembered one.
I think I still have the talent.
Yeah, of course. If I needed a fucking...
I need to know what you're going to say before you say it.
In this movie we're talking about,
okay.
Let's say that I didn't have car insurance, but I wanted to make it appear as though I did.
I made it exactly.
I know. I had one in my car for years.
Front and back.
For years.
I saved it to my desktop so I can change the date.
It had the watermark on it and everything.
Like, it was insane how good it was.
Yeah. We don't do that anymore, and we haven't in however long it's been since the statute of limitations. Yeah. But no, here's the best scumbag call I've ever gotten. And you know this, but I guess the listeners don't. So when we were teenagers, our cousin Heath lived a couple hours away. And he had this like so-called girlfriend. You know, one of those girlfriends that thinks they're your girlfriend, but you're just fucking them? He had one of I've never had one of those. I thought she was my girlfriend, but she was fucking other people. Yeah. But anyway, he had this girl.
She was my girlfriend, but it ended up being someone else. It was dark.
So he had this girl that he used to hang around with, and he called me one day, like late at night. And I was like 16. And he's like, dude, he's like, no questions asked. I need you to come down here this weekend. I'll give you $50 plus gas money. Punch this girl real hard in the stomach.
God.
And then just get in your car and drive home.
What do you spend the money on?
I got a new shirt because I got blood on that one.
Oh,
and
shit.
he's like, that's
You're like,
it.
I had a full tank, so I went.
I had he's like, that's it. I'll call you back this weekend if it's still on. So the plan was, essentially, here was his plan.
And you like waited
I was waiting by the
patiently
phone.
by the phone.
Yeah.
I need $50 and some gas.
I mean, I really
You're like
needed
popping
the money.
your knuckles.
You know how much $50 was to me at 16?
Oh yeah.
That was like 19. That was in the 90s. That was like 99. So
You're like, I punched her twice.
yeah.
Now, how much?
I'm just saying, one punch was $50.
Yeah.
I'll give you the family discount. I'll take 75.
Yeah.
So
You like rode around the block a bunch of times so they'll fill it.
But I took a gas can. I took a gas can to get a little extra.
Oh shit.
So, but that's the most. I challenge our listeners to come up with a more scumbag request you've gotten over the phone than to go and, basically commit an abortion, I guess. And, but it was such a. I never put it together then. I was just like, oh, I'm helping out a family member. That's what you do, whatever. But then when like I said, for whatever reason, I had this moment of clarity. Maybe it's because I'm older now. When I got the Coke machine call, is that in that guy's phone.
You walked up and you told that girl that her baby's gonna be sleeping with the fishes, and then punched her.
I put a horse head in her bed.
Anyways,
A seahorse bed. It looks like.
you bump it in like jingles.
But
shit.
you have some of those too. Yours was always more. You get more like scumbag requests of technical stuff. I get more of like leg breaker stuff. I've had a lot. Like I have pretty regularly people in my life, especially people new in my life that just. They've known me for a while, and they're just like, dude, everything this guy says, he just has scumbag dripping off of him. And then they'll just be like, hey, would you happen to know how to get into a locked car and shit like that? You know what I mean? And it's like, look, I was never a fucking stereo stealer or anything like that, but of course I can get into a locked car. The newer ones are tougher, but of course I can. And I can break into houses and all that stuff. I don't do any of that. I'm not a fucking career criminal.
Yeah.
But there was a time I definitely supplemented my income illegally, you know what I mean? But that was years and years ago. But I just think it's funny to judge yourself because everybody has
I've known loopholes.
Of course.
I think that's more of what it is. I've known loopholes how to get out of things.
Well, think about how many times though we needed certain skills just to get by because we didn't have any money or we struggled or whatever. So we learned those things. But now most of the people that you deal with on a day-to-day basis are like upstanding people. The people telling you to vote, like you gotta vote. Come on, Jeremy, vote. Don't know how to break into a Coke machine, or whatever, or don't want to make $50 driving a couple hours to punch a chick in the stomach. Just to clarify, I got a call on a Friday before I was gonna leave on a Saturday, and he said, "False alarm, she had her period," and I was like, all right. So I didn't have to go punch the girl in the stomach.
You're like, I did anyways. Oh, shit.
That would be the best twist. I just went and punched a non-pregnant girl in the stomach.
He said, I did this pro bono.
I did it with boner. That same girl, though, this is what's funny is, I was with our cousin Heath one time, and we were riding around, and it's like piney woods where they live, like East Texas. So it's like everywhere looks like a scary movie at night. And we were riding around with this girl, and we were supposed to take her home, but it was a way out of the way. So he just dropped her off at a convenience store in the middle. I swear to God, this was like probably pre-cell phones. I mean, cell phones existed, but I doubt she had one at the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is close. This is like not too far from your house, and dropped this bitch off. Like at a convenience store in the middle of creepy nowhere. And then the call about he might have knocked her up was like months later. So he fucked her after he dropped her off at that convenience store. Which is like, says a lot for like his prowess with the ladies or whatever.
Yeah.
But just for the record, I didn't make the trip. But that's
You're like, she happened to come down this way.
Let's just say she fell on the stairs. But I'm curious. I know we don't get like interaction from the listeners ever, but I really would love to get emails about scumbag deeds. Like, because I say that's how you should judge yourself. Everybody, I think, has a false sense of themselves. Like, what do you think of yourself? It's like, well, I'm a great dad, and I'm a hell of a cook, and you know what I mean, like whatever. No, but what do people think about you?
There's someone rolling their eyes near them when they're saying that stuff.
Exactly. Right. So if you want to know what people think of you, what is it that people call to ask you to help with all the time? If people always call to say, hey man, you think you can help me fix my car? Then people think you're like a good, dependable mechanic. If people always call to say, hey, do you know how to break into this or stop an emerging fetus, then you know you're a fucking scumbag. You know, it just is what it is. I didn't pick. I'd rather be like, people call me like, hey, I need stock tips. That ain't me. You
might end up getting a degree as a doctor now after this call, right? You're going to get an honorary degree as a...
I mean, I should. I get one from an abortion college.
Yeah, what are they called?
Abortion colleges?
Abortionist?
Dude, that's not bad.
Right?
Wouldn't mind being Jeremy the abortionist.
God dang. It's like Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, exactly. Except
like, it's the same thing.
Except without the muscles and the, goodwill. But I really am curious, though, because I'd like to ask more people just on a day-to-day basis. Say like, so, explain, because, okay, you do this because you hire people. And you're like, tell me something about yourself. You do that shit. And I sound a little bit like Obama when I said that. The listeners are like, did you?
Yeah.
But so, there's nothing worse though than, so how would you describe yourself? You're like, well, I'm a hard worker. And everybody that when you ask that question, people lie to you. Nobody's ever like, I like to sleep late. I like getting paid a lot for doing very little. You know what I mean? It's like nobody's honest when you
I'll come here for free if you let me.
It's almost like exactly. If you could interview somebody for a job and you could say, okay, the last 50 calls you got for help, like somebody called you to help them, what was it they needed help with? People were like, yikes. Do you know anybody with coke? Like, where can I get a gun?
I'm sure
clean?
There's always that guy too. Yeah,
because I'm not that guy. I've been asked a few times, people would say like, do you know where, like, it just happenstance, somebody just asked me because I was standing there. But I'm not a guy that you would, if you know me, you don't think, oh, Jeremy knows where to get drugs. Because I've never been a big drug user, really. Not at all. I mean, I've never been like that guy. But so there is that guy, though. It's like, that's who people think of you. If every time somebody calls you is to ask about coke or something like that, then that's what you are, because that's what people think of you. So yeah, for you,
you're like, shh.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, man.
But I'm not saying like if you're a drug dealer. I'm saying if you're not a drug dealer, but you just always give them the right answer when they ask where they can find coke. You know what I mean? And just like if somebody calls me and they say something,
I think in an interview they're going to tell me that. Well, people normally call me because they need cocaine, right? You know what I mean? But I don't do that anymore, right?
Do you find that when you ask people,
side job.
When you ask people that question, that they are just full of shit?
Yeah.
You're like, so tell me something about yourself. They just start lying to you. So what's the point of asking the question?
Yeah, you kind of can't ask stuff like that.
You can't even ask how old or tall somebody is, right?
You can't ask any kind of age.
Like, what are you, some kind of black or
married? You can't ask fucking anything.
You're interviewing somebody like, what, are you like black or like Caribbean black?
It's
Can you ask that?
Yeah, you probably can't say the word black at all. You're like, all I got's blue and green pins. You know what I mean?
But you can't, like, so if some guy comes
like, you got any black pins? I'm like, oh, we love black pins. I mean, those pins.
They matter.
Yeah, I'm like... Yeah, he's like, what do you mean those pins? I'm like, I mean...
that HR environment, like, I don't have to deal with it where I work, but...
I mean, that's the only pins I use. Why? That's the only ones that work for you?
Yeah. You like making them do what you say?
I'm like, I think they went pretty well.
We'll be in touch. But it isn't like if you were to hire somebody and they were... you were to hire a chick, you can't be like, are you fat or pregnant? You can't ask her, right?
I'm like, shit anyways. Right? You start cracking your knuckles.
You're on the phone.
You're like, wanna be? Right?
You're on the phone with me.
Or do you not want to be?
You're like, about to find out this chick's fat or pregnant, I might need you.
Yeah.
We're going to pull the old number 6. I'm like, look, my prices have gone up. The $50 was in the 90s, so you're going to have to come with it. But could you imagine now getting a call, somebody telling me to come punch a girl in the stomach that they may have knocked up? Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if I got the call from the guy that called me the last time.
You're like, shit, my phone's on silent. I might have a missed call.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie. $50 and a full tank of gas is a pretty good payment for about anything.
Still?
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I wouldn't punch a chick in the stomach for it, but let's say you called me one day and you're like, hey, dude, I need you to help me hang up Christmas lights, which you've done before, on this rickety old ladder, which you've done before. And you're like, I'll give you $50 and a full tank of gas. I'd be over here before you hang up. That's pretty good money.
Yeah, I didn't have
But if you said, hey, Crystal's starting to show, bring your brass knuckles, I'd be like, all right, we're going to need more than $50. I like her.
Yeah.
I can't look her in the eyes while I'm punching her. She's nice. So I'm going to need like 100.
Yeah.
You know?
God dang.
I can be bought. Yeah. But that's just
you have
something.
A burner phone.
Yeah, that's just something that I find so interesting. Is that's how, if you want to take a real introspective look, because look, we get a lot of jokes out of being.
Not everybody's got that kind of, you know what I mean?
No, I think most people get calls like, "Hey, do you know what what the main topics were at the PTA meeting?" Somebody gets that call because that's to other people who you are is you always have a pen if they need to borrow it. You're real, got your shit together type of person.
Nerd.
Yeah, or just like on the up and up.
A life nerd, not a school nerd, a life nerd.
Hey, what's...
You know what I mean? There's those.
Exactly, they're prepared and all that. So that person, there's a lot of those.
They're going to die young because you can't prepare for cancer.
Exactly.
I mean, they're like, well, I just didn't see it coming.
Yeah. Somebody, I make $50.
Like, I've never seen anything coming except for myself.
Because it's always on my back. But
like mom.
But that exists, that's there though. There's a certain kind, like you can tell so much about yourself. That's what I just keep thinking. Like you can tell so much about yourself by what's requested of you, and I think it's so interesting to take that introspective look. So look, like I said, we get a lot of
change for the better.
I haven't changed much.
Yeah.
I'd take longer to answer the punch the girl in the stomach question now than I did at 16. At 16, I was like $50 and a full tank of gas. Now, mind you, a full tank of gas back then was like $15. So if you think like, oh, this hero, he was gonna take $150.
Back then, you're like $20 and I'll buy your gas.
Yeah, exactly. I'd come out on top.
You wanted him to knock people up. You start poking holes in his condoms just so you can punch more.
I think
stomachs.
we made that joke back then that I was gonna start poking holes in his condoms. He's like, condoms.
Yeah.
But I just find that really, because I don't know what, like, I'm a pretty introspective guy. I stay up real late, and when you're up late, you automatically think about what are we doing here, and you have those thoughts. So I know, and we get a lot of good jokes out of the fact that, at least, especially when we were younger, we were just trash people. Like, to me,
it was fun though.
It's hilarious that I used to make more money playing poker, like scamming people in poker, than I did at my job.
There's sometimes I'm talking to people that I'm telling them like how bad I used to be.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm just like, and it's like young people, and I'm like, yeah, I was like pretty bad, you know, and then like I'm different now, you know.
Yeah,
I think
you have to grow up. You're still that dude.
Yeah.
Somewhere. It's in there. It's
if
like
I need to be.
You know, it's like Mike Tyson, right? Mike Tyson retired from boxing. He was talking like a year ago.
Exactly like Mike Tyson.
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The speech impediment.
I was thinking of something to say and I couldn't.
Just the speech impediment. But so Mike Tyson was this ferocious guy.
I'm like, and the tattoo.
And the rape charge.
Yeah, oh
god. But he was this ferocious, like almost animal. You know the whole like pre-fight thing where he's like, I'll eat your children, I'll stomp on your... You know, he was just this animal that his whole life was geared towards destroying, right? And then he retired from boxing and he mellowed out quite a bit, and he was this sweet, like, you know, almost lovable character. And he talked about it where he's like, I can't work out because if I work out, it wakes up that monster in me.
Oh gosh.
So now there's a fight scheduled for him. So he started getting in shape again and working out. And he was on Rogan's podcast, and you're listening to it. I'm not even watching it, and you're a little scared. You're like, this man is made to kill. And that's what he is. It's deep in there. So if somebody came to you now and they were just like, I'll give you $1 million. My whole family needs Social Security cards. Let's say there was a movie about you.
Yeah.
But I mean, realistically though, in you is that scumbag, get by grifter type. It's in you. Now you you get up early in the morning and you're like, tell your kids to have a good day at school. You are that guy. But if you dig deep enough, down to the bottom, you find that old dirty trash bag in there. Yeah. And it's so like me, like I said, if our cousin called and he's like, I'll give you $50 and a full tank of gas to do, I would be like, come on, man. You know, but a full tank of gas now is like $75 or whatever.
God dang.
50, how much is it?
Oh,
I never look.
I don't think of mine, like 30.
I just can't remember the last time I filled it up.
Pretty low.
I get enough to get the light off.
Yeah.
But it is still in you though. Like when you're this guy who like goes to like corporate gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
But when they hear the stories about you, they're just like, "What?"
Yeah.
I mean,
if they were to hear, yeah.
We were wild like animals when we were young.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting by. You were an orphan from a young age. So, you're like, the sun will come out. You were that guy.
I don't remember. I've sang it for
Yeah, you've definitely sang it. You probably sang it at Mom's funeral.
I sang it kind of recently, actually.
You probably sang it at her funeral to be funny. But, I don't know. That's something I really wanted to explore. Like, what do people think of you? Because for you, it has changed a lot. Mm-hmm. Because you are a very, like, responsible...
Yeah, I have to be.
You're like, I'm on the stock market. And I'm like, ugh. But you are that guy, though, and so a lot of people think of you in that light. But I think even the people who met you recently can kind of like look past it and see that like there's something in there. You know what I mean? There's some darkness in there. Mm-hmm. This guy used to scam or something. Like
I know I've heard his voice saying something very rude, bad before.
Yeah. But I do. It's just something. I just wanted to bring that up.
Something about a piñata.
Oh yeah. Well, do you ever think like this podcast? Maybe it's like a little pressure relief valve that keeps us from going full. Like, let's start extorting again.
Which it's been building for the last 3 weeks.
I know. We're a little behind.
We've had a long hiatus. We say hiatus too many times in this.
I know.
There's probably like 30 episodes where we said hiatus.
Yeah. They're like, who's Atus? Is he like the producer? If so, he's doing a terrible job. Like I hear a squirrel scratching in the attic. But remember that one when a tree scraped on the roof?
Yeah.
As we were recording, we were both like terrified.
One was a fucking frog outside, like just croaking right outside.
We've always said though, if you come here for like the production value, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
If you come here for like real, honest, funny talk, then you're in the right place.
Yeah.
I
guess.
It's just we're just old school scumbags that can get a free Coke if we need it, and
I wouldn't say too old school though, right?
You're thinking about getting back in it, aren't you?
What?
You're like, look, we just do a little bit of extortion.
Yeah, I start getting the taste of it, like Mike Tyson, right? On the next episode, I come in here and people are like, "That guy's evil."
Have you ever thought though, some of the like little schemes and stuff we used to do, how much better at it you could be now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, look, we're not admitting to any crimes in the past or future. I
gotta say something pretty funny. I mean, all right, so.
You just put a lot of pressure on yourself.
I gotta talk about something pretty funny.
You're like, look,
right.
2 Jews walk into a bar.
So we both said before that I have like, a Nazi family past.
Yes.
Right? My great grandpa.
The Smith is just the first S.
That
was on his collar.
Anyways, I like lightning bolts too. Little lightning bolts.
Yeah, it is a cool symbol.
No, all right. So, anyways, I had a great grandpa that was a Nazi, whatever. Right. All right. So that's definitely in the past. All right. My son today was telling us he was counting, and he said something was 7.
He counted to 6 million. He's like,
he did like that.
Oh, he did the 7 the way they do on the Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did a 3. On there, they did 3.
I know, but I'm saying he used the thumb for the...
He did the thumb, yeah, and that's how he counts.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't do that. I was like, the thumb is the last one.
He does, though, because he has those freaking long ET thumbs, so it's just like a finger anyway.
It was like a natural, I think
the reason that you normally don't use your thumb as one of the counted fingers until 10 is because you use it to hold the other ones down, like when you do the 3. Some people don't have to hold it down to do the 3, but...
Yeah, I don't have to do it.
Dude, when you bring that ring finger up with that pinky finger down, it feels like there's a tear in the time-space continuum.
Without holding it down with that,
Like make a fist and then open each finger up. Pointer finger, middle, and then you go that ring finger. It feels like something is like...
you do like the... All right, you do the thumb. Everybody listening. Stick your thumb out, and then
put
the pointer finger. And then the middle finger, and then the ring finger only does like half, right?
If anybody can do that, I feel like their grandpa was a Nazi. Like this, look, if you do it, like open your hand full and hold your little pinky finger down.
Yeah.
Hold it down real tight and then let go. You can almost, and then that little retard just comes up like a dick that just saw tits. It slowly rises up like a dick getting hard.
Shit.
It feels like something's breaking in your brain when you try to hold that little finger down.
There is like a little tendon in there that's like, no, buddy, come on. You know what I mean? Maybe I guess if you worked it, Because my left hand isn't that bad.
You do it pretty good. My left hand doesn't work.
But on my other one, it doesn't really.
My left hand doesn't work correctly because of a surgery.
People are like, "Is this really what this episode came to?"
Dude, it's funny though. You said you
started out real low, and then you never went high, and you got lower.
You just admitted to a bunch of crimes. But
FBI shows.
That was all this movie I saw this weekend.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you're talking about your son using fingers to count. The other day, you know, you'll tell me sometimes like your son or daughter do something funny, and it's like your proudest moment. Mm-hmm. Well, the other day we went to, remember we went to that like place, whatever, that kind of like resort, whatever you call it. Anyway, you got to pay to get in, and 4 and under kids get in for like way less. Mm. Well, my son's like almost 6. So when we're walking up there, I was like, dude, just act 4, right? So he's like, dude, he's got a little bit of fucking garbage in him too. He's stuffed, like, he's squatted down so he's shorter, and he's like walking up like that, and I was like, and he was like, I'm 4, and whatever. Oh, and I was like, hey, Colin, you're almost in kindergarten. Show him how good you can count. And he goes, 1, 3, 11, 7.
Oh, wow.
He was just trying to act like he's 4. He's like, that's what a 4-year-old would do, right? Know all the numbers, but put them in the wrong order.
Oh, wow.
And and I had to tell him. He's like, all right. So we walked away from the little area you walk through to pay.
Did they buy it?
I don't know, because actually I think it was all for like fun, because I think she had paid for the tickets online ahead of time. Oh. But it was just hilarious because he was trying to get that discount, and he was walking all slumped over, and he's like, he'd be like, Dada, I go to school next year. Like, he was talking like that. Wow. And I was like, all right, dude, you can act normal again. So then he just went back to normal, but it was hilarious.
He just kept doing it. You realize like something happened in his brain right after you had said that?
I'll wake him up for school in the morning. He's like, I don't go to school. I 4, you know, or
you're
whatever.
Like, oh, fuck.
I fucked something up bad.
And you're like, hey, babe. And she's like, what? Right? She does it.
It's like a Twilight Zone. Yeah. I look in the mirror. I'm 4. It was so good though. He was like down. So I know that it's some of our like scumbag shit must be genetic.
Yeah.
Like, you won't get it as much, though, because you have a daughter.
He's going to be, like, in his mid-30s, and someone's like, hey, we need a 4-year-old to talk to this guy.
He's like, right? 4, 6, 11.
He calls him, right? He's got his old, like, raspy smoker voice. Right? I mean, I hope not. Yeah. But, I mean, like, he's just, like, you know, he's got this old voice, and they're like, yeah, I guess definitely not 4, but he's trying.
Anybody that can run a scam at 5,
yeah,
that'll stick with a I'm 4 scam.
They're like, hey, we need to get a kid's ticket in to this place.
The best thing was, though, I told him, I was like, once we got through into the little park area, I was like, dude, think about what he's like, the numbers thing was good, right? I was like, when you were 4, is that how you counted? And he's like, nah, I could count when I was 4. I was like, yeah. But I was like, nice touch, though. You know, he just naturally in front of the lady who takes the ticket. He's like 1, 6, 11, like, 14.
Why is that kid?
Why is that tall retard trying to pretend he's 4?
Why is he squatting like that? Right.
But I wonder how much you'll get out of your kids getting because you want your kids to have a little bit of that garbage mentality. Mm-hmm. But I feel like you won't get it
to like survive.
Exactly. But I don't think you'll get it as much because I don't think a girl can be what we were. No. Maybe. But I feel like your daughter is she's got bows in her hair and shit. She's not going to be running any scams when she's in high school.
Yeah.
You know? Your son, though, I feel like he's got some shady in him, dude. Yeah. I feel like I could, like, get him involved and we could, like, run some kind of a scheme or something.
He starts punching chicks?
Well, yeah.
Junior high?
Yeah.
Like, whoa. Yeah. There's got to be something in there for the reason to do it.
He doesn't need gas money. He needs to charge up his Hot Wheel or whatever, his fucking little tractor thing.
All right, anyways. All
I would
right.
have landed if I knew what it was called.
So this has been episode 142. Please go like, subscribe, find us on Facebook or whatever. iTunes, wherever you can go. Whatever you're listening to, if it'll allow you to leave a review, please go and do it.
Yeah, and also, if you don't listen on iTunes, but you have access to it, please go on there and leave a review. It really helps us out a lot.
If you go and add us on Facebook or go on the page, if you have something you want us to talk about, go in there, reach out to us. And
yeah, exactly. And leave us messages or comments about like what people like. You know, like I said, what people call you, what people think of you. Like, hey Bill, could you come over? I need you to trim a tree or something. They're like, oh, they think of you as a handyman. Or hey Bill, could you come over? I think my wife's been cheating on me. Smell her underwear. You know, like what do your friends think of you?
They're like, why don't you just smell her underwear?
Yeah. He's like, yep, smells like my dick. But you let us know about how you judge yourself based on other people's like late night calls to you.
Yeah, and if you need some documents forged or
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we could make good money on this show.
or someone punched in the stomach.
Isn't it funny?
Give us a
Isn't
call.
it funny that my calls are always about brute, like roughness,
Yeah.
and yours are about like delicate, like fixing a, you know, it's like, hey, could you make
Yeah.
my pay stub a little bigger? I wonder if you could. I guess you could, but shouldn't
What?
change checks.
You could do like a fake.
Yeah, you
receipt.
could, but then it's catch me if you
A
can.
fake receipt.
Just so you know how it ends, they do.
Yeah.
Catch me if you can.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, I know. I think that's probably what like stirred all that stuff up. Was I mean, I really liked
You watched that at a
movie.
pretty young age, and then you got real. I mean, you used to would show me things that I was like, dude,
Yeah.
like that looks exactly like a real one.
Yeah.
I'm being as vague as possible right now.
Yeah.
Because, you know, look, that was years ago.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So this has been episode 142. Please find us, whatever, right? And reach out to us. Please.
Reach out and jerk us off.
That's pretty nasty.
I know.
They're like, oh, he's that guy too. Okay, all right. What is it? If you're listening to this, you are the bad vibe.